Welcome back, World of Warcraft fans, to episode 9.1 of Casual Encounters, my 9th week. So there's been another big news thing, another dev water cooler, mostly talking about health and how it's going to be affected in Warlords of Draenor. So I guess basically the whole deal about it is they didn't like this idea of, because of all the resilience and stuff, I guess, in PvP. They didn't like the fact that PvP players, or while you're in PvP, you feel less powerful than you would in PvE, because obviously all the resilience affects that way, right? So what they're essentially doing is that they're going to, in relation to what we have now, remember it's all by ratio, right? So compared to what we have now, after the squish, after we do the big squish, it's basically they're going to double our health. And you know, that sounds all great, super. They're going to double our health. That way, what they can do is while you're in PvP, you can you'll be able to hit just as hard, basically, against other players as you would other mobs and creatures, bosses, whatever, that you would in PvE. And now you're thinking, oh wow, I got a lot more health, right? That means it's going to be a lot easier to survive and whatever while doing PvE if they're doubling your health. Well, no, what they're doing to counteract that is they're going to allow creatures to hit harder, basically. So they'll be hitting us harder to compensate for that. And another thing that they mentioned also is healing. They're gonna kind of change healing again. I guess it's gonna be a little more on the mana management side again, just kind of a little bit like they did in Kata, but not as big of a shock as it was in Kata. I remember when I first went into Kata, that first time I healed, it was like out of mana in 10 seconds, right? Of course, you know, I got used to it. It was just a whole different way of healing, and I'm sure I'll get used to it again. But they're making it so that the mana regeneration and spirit, all whatever, it's at the beginning, it's not going to be as difficult. So I guess they're going to give us a little more mana regen and stuff. They said as it progresses, because what happens now is we get more gear, and you know, we just basically don't even have to worry about mana anymore. So I guess what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to stable that out a little bit. So they're going to make it a little easier at the beginning, because usually, generally speaking, at the beginning, mana is really hard to deal with, and then it eventually just becomes almost a non-starter. It's like it's not even an issue. So they're going to try to balance that out a little bit more, which I guess is pretty good. You know, makes it a bit more of an interesting game. Not so hard at the beginning, and then not, you know, it's not going to be nothing at the end. It's going to be more balanced. So I guess that makes for better gameplay. You know, you can stick with a certain mentality of healing or whatever. Also, what they're going to do with the healing, right now what we have basically is when you heal, the strategy now in raids and whatever, we've been sort of this thing where, okay, let's keep everybody up, and then the bosses are going to like hit you really hard, boom, 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 or whatever. The mechanics in the fight are going to bring you down. Everybody's to like all these crazy hits, and then the healers are going to be like scrambling like heck to get everybody back up to full health. They want to try to prevent that from happening, and the way they're, again, with this double amount of health, what they want to do is have a little more gameplay of people being, you know, in between that 0 and 100 instead of just being always, oh, got to get them full health all the time. It's interesting. I mean, that's going to take some really tough balancing, I guess. And I think the whole purpose of it is to, again, it's going to be right now it's not really much of a choice, right? You can be sitting there waiting for things to happen, you know, as a healer. Nothing's going on, everything's really easy, and it's like, whoa, God, I gotta heal, otherwise they're gonna die. So now what they're gonna try to do is, okay, so now, you know, maybe if someone's really getting hit hard, now you're gonna use those sort of inefficient heals, those big ones to get people, is keep them alive. And then the rest of the time, you're going to just want to use your more effective mana, cost-effective heals. You know, making it a smarter game, I guess. You're going to have to sort of play a little smarter. It's not going to be, okay, keep everybody topped up, Okay, heal. No, during the whole process, the whole encounter, you should always be pretty much having to make that decision is, am I going to use something that's going to heal really big, really fast, but it's going to cost me a lot of mana? And if I do that too much, then I'm going to run out of mana. Or, you know, when your teammates, you know, when they're low, if they get really low on health and you got to bring them up, okay, you bring them up, but enough to survive, and then you'll use your smaller, more efficient heals to slowly get them back up or whatever. So and they're going to design the encounters in such a way that, you know, there aren't going to be those, you know, oh, they were at full and all of a sudden, boom, 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 they're dead, you know. So they're supposed to take that away. So I think that's pretty good. I think it's going to be should be an interesting change. I think they're going to have to do a little bit of, they're going to have to probably, well, they are going to, they you know, they talk about changing a lot of the spells and stuff. But, you know, like, for example, like right now, I'm a resto druid for my healer, right? So, you know, I put up my mushroom, and while everybody's up there at full health, I'm sitting there rejuvenating them anyway, because my overheals on my rejuvenation are building up my mushroom, and then when that big spike of damage comes, boom, I can hit my mushroom, and poof, everybody gets big heals, and da-da-da. So they might have to retool that a little bit. I'm not sure if there's other classes that have that kind of thing, like other healing classes. I'm not really sure, like, if they have other similar things, but I imagine if they do, then they'll probably have to do some retooling there too, because if their idea of the thing is to not have your teammates always up at 100%, then I'm not really going to have that opportunity to fill up my mushroom. So, well, I don't know. Maybe there will be a person here, a person there. That will be, and that's how I'll have to do it. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. So, and they're also taking away some instant spells, I guess. They're going to be putting in some of our instant heals. For example, on the druid, the one I noticed was they said Wild Growth will now have a 1.5 second cast. I mean, you know, thinking about it, you know, as of in today's raiding world, like, to me, that's like, oh my god, that's crazy. But I guess if they're not going to have those situations where, you know, people can die really fast from nothing, then I guess it's okay. You know, it's going to give you get out of the stuff that's on the ground, get out of the fire, cast your heal, cast your Wild Growth or whatever, and get out. They mentioned a couple of other ones. I can tell you what they were. Okay, well, where is it? Oh, jeez. I can't remember what it was. Sorry about that. I thought I knew where it was, but install. Here it is. Okay, so Wild Growth for druids, like I said. The Monk's Uplift will have a 1.5 second cast time now. Also, the Paladin's Eternal Flame and Word of Glory will now have a 1.5 1.5-second cast time when spec'd and holy. Light of Dawn will also have a 1.5-second cast time. Priests, their Cascade, Divine Star, and Halo will now each have a 1.5-second cast time when spec'd, holy, or discipline. And they'll still be instant if you're Shadow. Prayer of Mending will also have a 1.5-second cast time. So this is kind of going across the board. They didn't mention anything else. I assume my Rejuvenation will still be, but I mean, that's single target, right? So I guess it's these big raid heal type things that are going to be affected. But like I said, if the encounters are set in such a way that people aren't going to die within 2 seconds from full health, then yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you'll just have to get out of the stuff, hit your cast, and then maybe move again. But you'll have that time to move. You're gonna make that decision to move and not take that damage. Whereas before you would just run and click the button and there wasn't really any choice involved. It's like, okay, I'm running, I'm gonna hit my wild growths. Now I'll be running and hitting my Rejuvenation, I guess, on several people. And I guess for the other classes, I imagine there's some similar things that they can do. What else was there? What else did they mention when it came to healing? Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be mostly about basically just being smart about it. And I think I've mentioned this before about the smart heals, and they sort of confirmed it. They're not. There's the smart heals are going to be a little bit less smart. They're still going to hit injured players. Like, let's say, again, I'm going to use my wild growth, I guess, as an example. So my wild growth, let's say, hits 5 or 6 people. I don't know how many. So whoever's in that radius, however many people, if there's 10 people inside and they're all injured, well, it's just going to randomly pick 5 or 6, depending on however many it is. I think depends on your glyph or what talent or whatever. I can't remember. I know that I had a glyph or a talent or something that made the 5, 6 or something like that. So whatever the case. So it's going to, whatever amount of people it heals, it's just going to randomly choose, let's say it's 6 injured people, as opposed to the 6th most injured people. So that means you're still going to have to make sure that you maybe give an extra heal to that person who's at the lowest health, and so it's just it's going to be a little more compelling gameplay. That's the way they see it. Personally, I like the the heal doing it for me, but hey, I'm lazy that way. What can I tell you? But yeah, so I think all in all, I mean, if the balance is right, I mean, I gather, I imagine it's going to take some balancing, but that's what beta's for. That's what all the testing for. So hopefully they get it right, and hopefully it'll be good. I think this whole idea of balancing the mana problems from the beginning of an expansion to the end of the expansion, if they balance that out a little bit, that'll be good, because I know the mana can be real issues at the beginning of an expansion, and I've noticed that in the past, and at the end it's not even an issue. So yeah, I think it should be a small issue during the whole thing pretty evenly. So yeah, that's about it for that. Again, like I said, it's all good. It seems like a good idea. It should make healing, it should really help you stand out if you're a good decision maker, good at mana management. This should be good for all you good healers out there. If you're not a great healer, well, you'll have to learn how to be a better healer. That's all. I'll probably have some growing pains myself. Like I said, I love those smart heals. But I think Kata taught me a lot about mana management, so I can't imagine it being any worse than that. Let's hope not. So so enough of that. Today I was just looking whatever, And there was this really interesting video that came up. Now, apparently, I mean, unless it was some kind of hoax or something, I don't know. Apparently, Blizzard published a video on YouTube, but they didn't list it. So somebody somehow, I don't know if it got leaked, I don't know what happened, but they were able to, somebody was able to find this video that wasn't even listed. And what it was a new trailer type thing for Warlords of Draenor, but it was about the level 90 boost. And basically what it was a cool video about, well, first of all, you see this gnome in his new character model, his new character model gnome, looks like he's walking through Tanaris or something, and he sees a mailbox in the middle of Tanaris. Don't know what that's all about, but anyways, whatever the case, so he goes to a mailbox and he starts checking his mail. And, one of the things is, raid party tonight, level 90s lover, and he's all sad because he can't go to this level 90 raid party, whatever. So he's slipping through the mail again, and all of a sudden he sees this level 90 boost. He's got today, sign up now. So he signs the thing, and he shoves it back in the mailbox. And, all of a sudden this wormhole opens up, and this gnome, starts going through this wormhole, gets stripped of all his old armor. And by the way, sorry, forgot to mention before, while he was looking at the level 90 raid party thing, he kind of sees this, his little character frame comes down, and you can see he's level 61, so he's all sad. So I forgot to mention that. So anyways, back to going through this wormhole, you see his old armor getting stripped off, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 all this new armor starts going on him, and he even gets a mustache or something. I don't know what that was all about, but I guess that's just to show him aging. It's like a metaphor or whatever. I don't know. Just to symbolize him getting bigger and whatever. So, boom, he's level 90 now, and he's all in new gear. So that was like a leaked thing. It seems to be a leaked thing. And this is today. This was kind of leaked out today. It's Sunday today, and what I'm hoping, and tomorrow, Monday, well, it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning, so it technically is Monday, but whatever. It was Sunday. I saw this. We'll just say it's still Sunday. So most of you will probably seeing this on Monday, if not later. So anyway, Monday, tomorrow, today, whatever, they're supposed to be the last day that you're going to be able to order the online deluxe version of Mist of Pandaria. So they're taking that away. So what I'm really hoping is, and Blizzard has disappointed me every week. I have been disappointed over the last freaking 5 weeks or whatever it is. I can't remember how long it's been since I finished getting my paladin to level 60, and I've just been waiting. Let's hope that they replace it the next day with the pre-order for Warlords of Draenor, and we all get our level 90 boosts. Because they told us that we should be able to get our cloak and all that stuff. We'd be in time before the next expansion, so it's got to come soon. Either that or Warlords is going to be coming real late, which is kind of sad. I mean, they talked about getting content out faster, but I mean, it was less than 2 years from between. Cattle was less than 2 years, so it seems kind of weird that they would make MOP a full 2 years. But that kind of seems where it's going. It's hard to imagine having a beta come out. It's already like almost the middle of March. So even if they brought it out, next week or whatever, you have all of April, May, June, July, August. That's 5 months. That's probably like sort of like their average beta time. So unless they, and so that means unless they have like a 3-month beta or a 4-month beta, it's not coming out till September. you know, which will give us all that time to do all that stuff. It's just, and honestly, September is better time than the middle of summer for me as an adult, as someone who, you know, whatever. But I'm sure all the students would be very happy if it came out in the summer. At least those who, you know, don't like to go out and do stuff and like to use their summer to play WoW. But anyways, I'm really hoping that we're going to get our level 90 boost on Tuesday, as I have been for the last few weeks. Let's hope I'm not disappointed this time. So, anywho, I'll keep that it for today. We'll see if any interesting news comes up, or if there's anything really interesting I can talk about anytime else this week. I'll make another episode. If not, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know if anything interesting is going to come out. If I get my level 90 boost, I will, you know, try to get back on here sometime near the end of the week and tell everybody about it and how it went and what I think about it, how the experience was. So, as usual, you can always email me if you want to contact me for any reason at wowonmymind@gmail.com. Best way to please comment. You know, that for me, that's the best way of communication is comments. It also helps with you know, getting the video listed in YouTube and stuff like that, getting higher up. The more people that like and comment, I think the better rating you have for people actually being able to see it in the search. So making comments really helps a lot. And you know, subscribing is great. Please subscribe. I think there's a little guy up here somewhere you can click on. He might be over here depending on your screen, I don't know. Somewhere up here, the little guy you can click on to subscribe. Please do so. Please leave comments. And as usual, have fun playing World of Warcraft. Have a good night.